Hello YouTubers, we're live again. This time I'm at the gym. I couldn't make it all at the Persic Highs today. And usually here we're very careful trying to wear the masks throughout the time, but since I'm in a room on my own without anybody around here, I will take it off for the rest of the video. But just kind of showing you how things are at the gyms right now. We're definitely keeping safe, always wiping down and cleaning up after each session. And sometimes we have power rooms like this, where we can have one-on-one sessions. And depending on the comfort level, maybe I wear the mask the whole time, or sometimes maybe taking it off depending on the situation. But definitely right now we're just starting out our live for the first time at the gym. If you're just joining us now, we will have another live looking like tomorrow afternoon at Professor Kai's place. But today we're working through the gym since I'm here today and I just had a student that just left. So there's no time for me to get all the way to Kailua. Hello, Self-Master. How you guys doing? So I'm gonna take off the mask now so you can maybe hear better. And we're going to work on fundamental movements of the wooden dummy and the Wing Chun, and I'll show you guys kind of what I've been teaching, especially during this social distancing time of using our wooden dummy friend here and Bob. So there's an actual new form I've made for the Bob, like a Bob form basically. So let's just show that first. So let's say Bob is here. I go from the reference point, side kick, outside the line. So this is the long range weapons to initial bridge. So let's say someone's coming in or I'm attacking, I do that side kick first. To the low body, to the knee, whatever it could be, side kick, right? So that's the initial bridge. Maybe I'll move it down a little bit more. From here, side kick. And sometimes I can even check this hand or pull the arm in. So there's a long range attack. I could use the hand as balance, especially if he's leaving it out there for me to grab. And I'm going to kick to the lower knee. If the arm is not there, simply just kick to the knee is fine. Or if the hand is punching, I'm going to block and kick to the knee. So there's that possibility as well. 3 different ways. How you guys? 3 different ways to get there. One, without the hands at all, just side kick right away, right to the lower body and to the knee. Then another one, I use the arm to grab, and I pull them into that side kick to the knee. Or I lock, and I kick at the same time, this way, right? So either way you enter, that's the first entrance. From the first entrance here, we're gonna crash, box out, and hit. Now, without the Paksa, boom, this could be a direct shot right over. I still have to cut through that line of the arm. So using the vertical fist allows me to do that kind of block without having to, try to adjust the lighting here, to pull the arm back. If I turn the punch, there's nothing here stopping the arm. We might both hit each other in the face at the same time. So when I cut and I hit over, I'm sliding against the arm here to keep the pressure down on my forearm. And then I have that shot. So side kick, pressure down with that hit. Yeah, exactly. Very devastating punch. Because I'm dropping my weight into it. So here, I'm already guarded, ready to fire, and I fall right into that punch. So bam, bam, right away. Bam, bam. Immediate shot, so direct. The first one is very direct. Direct, direct. 1, 2. Yeah? 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, I could use trapping now. Instead of using just the rear hand and letting it sit there, I can use the rear hand to stop the arm as well. This way. I did the pop style here. Kick, stop and hit. Kick, stop and punch. Kick, stop and punch. Kick, stop and punch. Sometimes even when I'm trying to do this side kick straight hit, maybe this arm is gonna bring itself a little higher to block. And then I won't be able to get through, because if I'm doing the right position of my arm, this is gonna clash, and the elbow can sometimes be an obstruction for both of us, because now it's gonna lock here, since my elbow is down versus up, I might be able to flow around it. But it's both a good thing and a bad thing, because now that elbow being there, now it doesn't allow me to get hit at the same time. It's guarding my line, and I can utilize that energy. So even though it's stopped, boom, even though it's stopped here, that's fine because I can just flow again. Boom, here I get stopped because I'm trying to punch. It gets obstructed, that's okay, I'll just stop it with my rear hand and punch. Why is that better? I'm here because the hand is already this close to the face. All I have to do is extend a little more. So instead of using the rear hand, and it's totally possible you could use that as a good counter here, it is definitely a good idea to pull 1 and then 2, which is kind of going to be what we're going to get to in a second. But instead, this hand is closer, and this rear hand is close to the elbow. So I'm going to just go the distance of the hand and then go to the head. So side kick, I end up in an obstruction, then I punch. So my first idea is always to just side kick to the knee and hit to the face, right? Side kick, hit. Now if I run into an obstruction, I just continue to trap it. I'm trying to hit, side, boom. Maybe it doesn't work sometimes. I have to trap, especially if their arm comes up and I'm gonna hit. Now, depending on the crash energy, forward pressure is always better to continue to overwhelm and keep going forward. Well, let's say sometimes that power is too much, or I find that the option is not there. The other way is to do is when I clash here, is to lob out, or to bring arm in, and now I can use the rear hand, because before, the rear hand would be a little too far to get there. I might not make it in time. But if I pull the person to me and then hit, I've cut in that time. I've brought them to the punch instead of me trying to fire from back here and extend and hit the same range, keeping them where they were, right? Or even if they're here, maybe it's blocked and I throw over. But I want to keep this hand from blocking and bringing it back up to a cover. So when I clash here and I'm trying to punch, instead of blocking and going forward, I'm going to draw it back and hook. At the same time as I'm hooking, I'm going to pull and right into the punch, right here. So he's getting closer, and my hand is extending at the same time. Right? So here, it's obstructed. This time I feel a lot of force, so I'm going to pull and grab. Here, pull and grab. Here, pull and grab. Hit, boom. Obstruct, hit. Hit, obstruct, go forward. So now those are other options, right? You have all these different ones. Side kick, going in, collapse, hit. Side kick, straight in. Side kick, blocks, hit. Side kick, pops out hit. Side kick, straight in. Grab side kick, pop hit. Grab side kick, pop hit. Or hit, side kick, trap, hit. Those are all the various entrances to get to close range. So we went from side kick range or kicking range to boxing range and then the trapping range. And we're going to stay in trapping range for the rest of the techniques from here. So after I go outside, kick, trap and hit, lob and hit, I'm going to jump sao and hun sao the arm so I can get to the inside of the body here. So here, one, just going to wooden dummy, you see jump sao, hun sao, punch. One, hook, snap. One, hook, snap into the body. So I'm on the outside of the arm, I attack the kick, and maybe I crash to the head, and I lob sao punch. This hand's above the arm, I'm going to open it up, and I'm punching at the same time. So one, boom, two, three, open and punch simultaneously. Then I can continue with a straight blast to the head, to the neck, to the body. And I can work on my tanda, punching in and out of these two arms. Long saw this hand over, chop the neck here. So I'm going from the outside line, rotating the arm over, catching it with a lop saw, chop. So I have to hit, tan saw, lop saw, hit. Tan saw to bong saw, lop saw, next shot. And that's the last transition out of the center line. So I can attack down midline, protecting the outer arms, doing tan saw and punch. But at some point I want to get back out to the other side. So the transition back to the other side, I'm going to bong saw the arm, trapping it on my elbow, lop saw to transition, and then knife hand or hammer fist. Now I'm going to look at the questions. I did see a bunch of different stuff. You guys are saying something. Joy Weber, we can also work on stand small. Yeah. So yeah, improving speed in previous live, we can do again tomorrow if there is a lot of interest. Yeah, so yeah, tomorrow, Professor Kai is online right now. Since you guys were asking, we were talking about earlier, we're gonna do a short one today. Since I couldn't get out of the gym in time to come over there, I mentioned earlier in the video, we're gonna have one tomorrow at Professor Kai's place. When we do have time, I do have time to get all the way over there. But today, we're gonna work a little bit on what I can do, since maybe some of you were expecting there'd be a live at round 1, which I finished at round 1, and I was setting up by getting in about 1:30. Any other questions while I'm in this chat, checking things? What's the best stance for perfect balance? Well, 50-50 is always the best stance. That's what we're usually doing, and even in the Wing Chun or even the JKD, it's 50-50. I'm not leaning back, I'm not leaning forward. Although a very classical stance is leaning back, so you have emphasis on quickness of the lead weapons, especially the kicks. When we're doing like that one video I showed of Bruce Lee's quickest kicks, I believe, was from here, kicking out from wherever you want. And I can do that if I'm in the classical Gordon Foo stance, where you see a lot of pictures of him and Sigling Taki or Tai Kimura in this kind of weighted 70-30 stance. And I can kick out really quick, and from there follow up with other punches. But really 50-50 is the best way to go too, because now I'm in the middle of attack and I can still lean back into defense. And one way I like to do that is if you see my feet a little bit better here. So I'm in that 50-50 stance. Now the Baizhong stance in Judo is with the heel raised on the ball of the foot here. If I'm on one line, my lead toe is on that line and my heel is around the same line. Now this can phase slightly narrower or wider. It's not super particular, but this is the basic structure of it. It's a heel toe stance, kind of like some classical Kung Fu styles out there have taught the bow stance like that. So lead hand. Now my rear hand is going to be covering my neck and my jawline area, while the center of the hand or the punch is in the center of the body, so I can go low or high, mid, everything, right? So this is the balance stance to be able to fire out shots, to fade back if I need to, so I can just drop on that heel, and I'm already in that ready stance to fire off my kicks, like in the 70-30. So just so you can see my feet again, looks like that, right? So from here, I'm already in the Baizhong stance, 50-50 weight, and I can fire my punches going out, leaning, transferring weight forward to get power into the lead weapons with my hands, and still being able to rotate and turn in a reverse punch on the ball of my foot. But if I need to go to switch to legs, I can just drop into that Gung Fu stance from here. So the heel just drops, and I very much like in almost a Wing Chun stance or a classical Kung Fu stance. Boom, side, right? From here, bam, boom. I can shift and very easily move. Then once I land back in that stance, it switches back to JKD, or even continue on Wing Chun movement with the foot flat. That was a good question. on the stands and balance. Cool. Anything else? Let's see. Have you ever measured the majority section of speed and put in this idea in practice? Thunder palm reached 70 centimeters horizontal. Oop, I lost your comment. Thunder palm reaches 70 centimeters horizontal compound in 0.1 seconds. So ever measured the major section of speed and put this idea in practice? Thunder palm reaches 70 centimeter horizontal compound in 0.1 seconds. Maybe you can rephrase that. I'm not sure what you mean. Are you thinking about a thunder palm like in the Tai Chi palm? Like from here out forward like that, that snapping on the wrist, that fluidity, and be able to put a lot of power by whipping and turning the waist. And then you can use that, of course, in Wing Chun. There's like kind of that same thing in the Wen Dani form, right? You're doing that pin cell to that palm strike. So you're in here, palm cell, palm strike, right? This one. Working up. Alright, so the jump like on cell, pin cell, jump cell, catch, and that palm strike from where you are hooking the hand. From here I'm kind of doing that Tai Chi snake movement, and then I'm whipping by extending the arm and snapping the inside of the wrist. So I can use that power from my palm here out like that. Right. Boom. That bomb cell was here originally, and all I'm doing is changing it to that. So 1, 2, I'm hooking this arm while I'm winsawing it until almost like a bomb cell position. It's going to collapse, and the hand just changes back to elbow back in, and then pop, pop. Similar to like very much like the Tai Chi forms, I'm having that same flexion and launching with the brush knee and twist, right? Let's see. Yep, 50-50. Good, okay, so let's continue on. If I get to the middle of the body here on the bob dummy, side kick to intercept first, I could crash straight line into the punch, keeping the arm trapped under the elbow, or I end up in a bridge position, then I can choose to do a pop hit, or bridge position, lock hit. But in this fake or new form, it's boom, it's gonna be side kick. I'm gonna enter, then I'm gonna lob style hit. Then I'm gonna jump style Hun Sa to get to the inside line here. Then I can chain punch 10 times, either be to the center of the body or to the neck. So I'm just driving straight line punches through the target and hitting. Then at some point, Tan Sao hit, lob style round, chop to the neck. So now we're gonna go to this side. So if you see, after Tan Sao punch, my arm is connected to this wrist or the forearm. I roll it to trap, I grab, and I chop. So I'm following that line up his arm to strike. Tan Sao punch, long cell, bring this hand up like a Wu Sao hand, right? But now it's gonna grab, and I'm gonna hit to the neck. Boom, lob cell, hit. So that's one thing you can practice. Tan Sao punch. You're gonna shift your weight to the other side. Long cell, lob cell, knife hand. That's the way I'm managing the stance here, which is something that's hard to see in the horizontal position. Tan Sao punch, lob cell around the arm, chop to the neck. Now if I did the opposite side, Tan-sao punch. I lob cell this part of the arm, I'm grabbing over, next shot. So it's again that shifting of weight, left and right, to get to, from mid position of the body to the lateral positions. Right? Here, just like the wind dummy form, you're gonna shift, shift. Turning your whole body, shifting a little bit on the heels. Tan-sao punch, Tan-sao punch. Bong sao, lob sao, grab. If I do the other side, Tan-sao punch. Bong sao, lob sao, grab. Okay? Center line punching. Tan-sao punch, Tan-sao punch. And make sure both hands are moving outward. I'm not doing there's a common mistake sometimes I see, as they pull their arm back as they're hitting, like that. Not really, you want to pull the arm back. It's both forward into that, like we talked about on our live yesterday, the perfect arm position for power and sustainability is right between 90 degrees and full extension, like right there, yeah? I can hold a structure a lot stronger if I'm in this position rather than bent. And if I'm doing this, pull it in, if they follow me, they'll collapse that arm. So I want to be forward pressuring with both my punch and my hand. So I'm doing that on the inside line. I can be doing chain punches, practicing Tan-sao hits, then choose to do a bong sao, trapping this flexible arm here, and grab it next shot. So, grab, next shot. Tan-sao, lob sao, neck. Tan-sao, lob sao, neck. 1, 2, chop. 1, 2, chop. That's one drill you can do. Tan-sao, lob sao, chop. 1, bong sao, lob sao, catch, chop. Tan-sao, bong sao, chop and hit. Hey for president. Tan-sao punch, bong sao, chop. Now I'm on this side of the body, so I can do the same techniques I did earlier and work my way back out again to the long range. So it went from outside range, bam, trap, hit, lob sao, sweep it inside, chain punch, Tan-sao punch, Tan-sao punch, lob sao, chop. Now I'm on the outside range, so I can apply the same techniques I did earlier. So I went from the outside range, I went to bong sao. My next shot, this hand is going to draw back, this one punches over the arm, and I'm popping here. Then I would go and lob sao punch, right? So continuing on after the bong sao to the lob sao. Next shot, I'm going to draw this one back. They're doing two things simultaneously. I'm drawing and catching to the pop, and I'm also punching with the left hand now. This way. Then I do the same thing, cut down the line, grab and hook to a lob sao, and I'm punching with the right hand now. 1, 2, yeah? Tan-sao, bong sao, next shot, pop sao, lob sao. Then I can come out, side kick again. So let's say he was moving back now. So I'm closing the distance, bam, going into trapping or boxing distance, then I'm trapping, then I'm in the trapping range in the midline, and I do Tan-sao, pong sao, then I go outside line, chop, hit, and I do pak sao, lob sao. Now I'm going outside line again, back to, he's escaping, right? So there's a phasing, long range, trapping, boxing, trapping, then back out to trapping, boxing, and then finally kicking range. Yeah. Yep. Boom. So next, you're gonna catch, side kick. So after that lob sao hit, catch and pull, side kick, and then back outside. Then you can do the same thing backwards, right? And I'm on this side of the arm. He's in a left lead versus the right lead. So now against a left side boxer, of course you can switch this as well too. You could be doing this left side lead to left side lead, but And that's another iteration. I want to keep everything right side lead, like a JKD person doing some JK and Wing Chun, and you have to fight against right-siders or left-siders. It depends. You're not always going to be matching every single time. So now I'm on a right to left attacker. Same similar things applies. I'm going to do side kick. The same thing. If he's in the left lead, that's fine. He's going to have a different leg forward. With that leg that's forward, I'm going to be targeting that leg. So if he's in the left stance, likely that means the left leg is up, is forward. So I'll kick the left leg, would be the first one. Kick, right? From here, while he's on the stance, side kick, side kick. After the side kick, still this is the same too. I'm going to crash over and do a straight line punch. So straight lead, side kick, straight lead, side kick, straight lead, side kick, straight lead, right? Straight lead. Now if that is obstructed from here, fine. Same thing. Now I'm going to do a lopsaw hit, right? Boom. That's the only difference going backwards though. You're going to go lopsaw first. So the other one was pak sao first, right? So here, I'm outside line. Instead of going pak sao hit, I get stuck here because my lead weapon. And now this is just a little bit of ways. Pak sao could come in this way, right? But I'm gonna reverse and lopsaw instead. Because in this position, it's better for me to do that lopsaw, is more comfortable left to against right than crossing over this way. Okay? Not saying it's wrong, no, you could still pull it off. And you could still do a pak sao instead with the rear hand and then going in. But the concept is, I want to use my quickest, most forward weapon to do this. So instead of doing a pak sao, the lead hand and punching this way, or pak sao going this way, which could still work in this sense too. The lopsaw fills into the space much better than just going pak in here. So here, side kick, lopsaw hit. Side kick, lopsaw hit. And now I'm using that same pressure on the elbow here, trapping with two hands. So anytime I'm doing this, right, this one's on the forearm already, and dividing a line to create the punch and dominate the arm. Or this is obstructed, I pull this hand down, I still keep pressure on the arm as I go for the neck and follow the body line up to the jaw. And I'm going to do that pulling motion, drawing them into the punch. Side kick, punch. Then from there, I have this arm trapped. I'm ready to do whatever, pass the arm again, or move forward and pak sao after that. Now the reverse punch is going to be stronger here, cutting over the top, and I follow up with a pocket. Let's see, timing-wise, we're good still. About 4 more minutes. Side kick, lob hit. Let's see. I'm not sure what you're saying in Spanish, I'm sorry. We need a translator. Okay, let me look at the comment. Why do you not use palm strikes? I heard they are better tap to the head than closed fist because of no injury. Very true, yeah. You definitely have more or less injury if you're doing a palm strike than doing a vertical, a fist punch there. But I'm actually hitting just under the jaw, under the neck. If I'm hitting to the skull, I'll probably hurt more. But hitting down the neck and chopping here, under the jaw, it's a little bit softer. If you're hitting yourself there, you can feel right underneath there. It's better than right on it. Even sometimes right on the cheek, it's not as hard, but definitely, boom, right under this neck point here is where I like to aim most of it. Or just clipping under the jaw as I'm driving through. But yeah, palm strikes, especially to the center of the face, like in the Wing dummy form, or under the chin, is also great. And that's why I like the form 1 of the Wing dummy set, because we're doing mostly palm strikes to the face, right? Oh, it's down. Palm strike to the body, palm strike to the body, and again another palm strike, center line to the face. Because especially one of my students who really punch very well, he's not as coordinated. I had him do a lot of palm strikes in the beginning because he wasn't getting the correct structure and even that line of a vertical fist. Like already the vertical fist is a little bit safer because of the structure of the wrist, but even safer is true. Palm strike. Yeah, more meat here. You can strike even your elbows and that won't hurt, right? If you punch your elbow, it doesn't really feel that good. So yeah, you can replace every one of these with the palm strike. The only disadvantage now is the range. A fist is a little bit further than a palm. And even further than that is an eye jab. But an eye jab is weaker in terms of being able to sustain a lot of pressure and force. As you train your fingers to break bricks, right? And that takes some time. So eye jab is the longest range weapon. Then would be the punch, and then the palm strike. Okay? So if you were to change it up to all palm strikes, why not? Side kick, palm strike, side kick, palm strike, side kick, pocket palm, side kick, pocket, and lock palm, side. 1, 2, pass. 4 palms to the body, which is interesting. Or you can go to the neck or the face, bridges the nose. All these are good palm strike targets. Under the chin, bridges under the nose, and maybe you can do these tank punches this way. Kind of similar. Palm pop, lob cell, neck shot. That's fine without changing to a palm strike. Lob cell pop, pop cell pop. Anyway, it's about 30 minutes. I can probably stick around a little bit longer. It's 2 o'clock here and I gotta get going soon. But if there's any other questions, I'll look at them right now. And we'll continue with Professor Kai tomorrow at, I wanna say 2 or 3, but check the community tab because I'm gonna put that in today of when that next one is gonna be on, okay? So let's just check. Anything going on here? All right. Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you guys later.